From an entire continent to a slew of bosses, old school RuneScape has expanded the world of Gielinor a lot over its decade-long life, and I'm here to see all of it. From a fresh main account, we're gonna complete every quest, and fight every boss, and hopefully get rich while doing so. This is Building a Main Old School Edition. We've got some hefty goals lined up for the series, from getting and trimming the quest cape with the achievement diary cape, to killing every boss at least once, and all the while amassing a Bill Plus bank. But let's start with something a bit more manageable. Every account starts its life with a questathon, so let's start in that category first, with an initial milestone goal of Recipe for Disaster. This quest rewards the legendary Barrow's Gloves, and has some other nice unlocks tucked away in its requirements, so it seems like the perfect starting point for a new account to work towards. But that's still a little too big, so let's focus on one of those requirements, Monkey Madness, rewarding the Dragon Scimitar along with plenty of combat XP that we're going to need to use it. To do this quest, we're ideally going to need 43 prayer and a few base combat stats, notably hit points, as well as some gold for supplies. So let's start by establishing ourselves in those areas. 300 quest points to go, let's get started with the old classic, Cook's Assistant. It's going to take me a while to kick the whole Iron Man way of thinking, because I've been playing a group Iron over on RS3, and yeah, once you get into that way of thinking, it sticks for a while. 100% energy in 12... Wait. Oh, there's not even a rest option. I think we're going to be doing a lot of walking. Let's just say agility training is probably a bit more in the forefront. There we go. One quest done. First levels rolling in on the account. Where's my sardines? Ah, scam. You don't get sardines for this quest in old school. Doing all these short quests nice and early just to get the most out of their XP is going to be a big time save, because travel time is actually something worth considering. And especially until we get our agility up. Or maybe even get... There's an agility set, I believe, that gives you, like, better run energy. So maybe I'll work on that at some point. With low agility and no money for stamina potions, we need to make the most of our travel time, which is why we're going to be doubling up on some quests. So we started doing Restless Ghost, and since that needs you to go over to the Wizard's Tower, same as Rune Mysteries, we also started that as well. There's going to be a lot of doubling up on things when we're doing early travel like this. I'm not a hardcore. I can just die, and that will full heal me. Watch this package not be kept on death. Wait, there's Death's Office? But this should just pop me out a Lumbridge, and then I can go pick up my stuff. Okay, what I feared is true. That package isn't kept on death. I do need to go and get that back when I'm done. There we go, 5 thieving done. Only had to die once. There we go, 300 coins, 4 quest points. Huge. I wonder if this stuff actually sells for these prices. Because a bronze med helm, 140 GP? A spade, 129? Absolutely just grabbing those to quickly sell. The first stop for anyone looking for some starter GP is obviously the Stronghold of Security. You get a nice 10k down here, but do mind the spiders, because they will kick your butt. Okay, that was unfortunate. Successfully retrieve everything from the gravestone. Do I just... I don't think I don't think I have much chance going either direction at this point. Nothing's loaded in and out of a room. I don't actually know what's in there. Only a two, humble. Okay. Oh no, it hit me through the door. What? I don't think any of those were good bank pins. Be humble, be humble, be humble, be humble. Oh, it's a 1. And he didn't get the melee. Paid off. Okay, we have the 10k. Let's get out of here before we die again. I need a raw sardine for this quest. Let's grab like 500 mind runes. Okay, I guess I'll grab 600 instead. And then we can go buy a Staff of Air. But first, we're going to do Gertrude's Cat for the cooking XP. Oh, yeah, I should probably grab the parcel for Aubrey as well. Another good money-making step early on seems to be the Daddy's Home mini quest. This is a mini quest that unlocks the construction skill, as well as giving a bunch of early construction supplies. Now, you do need to buy some construction supplies to do the quest, however, the gold from the Stronghold of Security easily pays for that. And then, once you've done the quest, you get a ton more supplies back that you can then go and sell for about double what you paid in the first place. Oh, it's a Monk of Zamorak now. I thought this guy was a skeleton. Okay, well, the beads are slowly buying. We just need the black bead to buy it, and then we are done. And my cat's going to get hungry. I didn't bring any food. Wait, levels interrupt your current action. The go-to method for early game bosses is to use Fire Strike, because that thing could max like an 8 and only requires 13 magic and some super cheap runes. So we combine some splashes with Witch's Potion and Imp Catcher to get us up to that 13 magic for Fire Strike. I cannot wait to see these bosses absolutely get destroyed. And while I was near Port Sarim, I decided I'd hop on a boat over to Zaya and do the Client of Kourend quest, which is a quest that has you running between all 5 houses in the Kingdom of Kourend and getting introduced to them. This is a lot of running, and I probably should have waited to have stamina potions before doing all this. And obviously, we had to do some of the big early game quests, like Doric's quests, the Knight's Sword, Sheep Shearer. Okay, that one's not so big, but still, getting them all done, we do need to get every single one of these done eventually, so getting the ones that give a nice big chunk of XP done first means training is going to go a lot smoother. However, I'm not going to go over every single tiny quest that we do because there's like 200 other things, and yeah, that's not too interesting, but the ones that really matter, I'll make sure to mention. And the first quest up that falls under that really does matter category is Witch's House, which gives a bunch of hit points XP and gets us up to 24 hit points. Not ideal if we're planning to rush Wintertodt, but honestly, right now I'll just take not dying to Monkey Madness. Now that we've got our stats up a bit, it's time to start thinking about heading over to Ardi and continuing the early game quests over there. However, when you head over to Ardi, you want to complete the Ardi Easy Diary, and for that you need a rusty sword. The best way we've got right now of getting one of those is ham guards, so killing a few of those to get a rusty sword, as well as the buttons we'll need later for animal magnetism. However, before we headed over to Ardi, we need to get our agility level up for the Grand Tree, and the best way to do that is the Tourist Trap. There we go, 27 agility and the Tourist Trap. Complete. And I guess the best fletching method unlocked. There we go, Waterfall quest complete, 30 attack, 30 strength, 27 combat. And to be honest, the gold bars, mithril seeds, 20k of reward right there. It's huge. There we go. I don't know what the gnome amulet is good for. Oh, it's got some good defense bonuses. But the attack XP is the big thing. We're already up to 36. Well, this quest gives us the RD teleport, but it requires level 51 magic, which we're a bit far off of. And definitely remember to read the scroll, because I did a dumb with my RS3 main and didn't read the scroll and then tried to RD teleport. Now, adding a Remington boat here was such a nice way to improve travel without actually just adding lodestones. Honestly, I thought I'd miss lodestones, but I kind of just don't. At least to the early game, it adds a bit more of a planning element to it, having to optimize a little as you go around rather than just darting all over the world in seconds. Here we go, Biohazard done a bunch of thieving XP actually. Oh, okay, not as much as I was expecting. I thought that might actually give me to 15, but we can now work on completing the RD Easy Achievement Diaries. And while we were working on the easy tasks, we were taken through the fight arena area, so I decided to get that quest done out the way, which gets us up to a nice round 40 attack. And since that allows us to wield rune weaponry, and I know there's a mob near here that drops rune scimitars, I decided to try my luck and see if I'd be able to get one for myself to save myself a little bit of early money. And yeah, that didn't go so good. Well, okay then. And with our tail between our legs, we went and grabbed our consolation prize of the RD Cloak 1, which gives us infinite teleports over to the RD Monastery, which is probably the best easy reward in the entire game. And the lamp requires level 30 to choose a skill to put it into, so we decided to go and complete the Grand Tree first, because this would give us a bunch of agility XP, and then the lamp can just go into agility. With our stats well underway, it was time to turn our attention to money making. We need a bunch of supplies and 40 free prayer for Monkey Madness, and all of that's going to cost us a pretty penny. So I was drawing on the collective knowledge of my chat to try and figure out some early money makers. And honestly, one just kept coming up over and over and over again, and that was Wintertodt. Needing a mere 50 fire making, which isn't exactly a slow skill, Wintertodt offers a bunch of money as well as some incredible fire making rates, and doing it at low health is actually beneficial because you take percentage damage rather than absolute damage, which means you get a ton of use out of the cheapest food in the game, wines. In order to get to Wintertodt though, we first need to get that 50 fire making, which means chopping and burning logs. And what better way to start your woodcutting training than doing Monk's Friend? And then it was on to the line fires. For normal oak logs, we just chopped them outside the RD monastery and burnt them in a line, nothing too interesting here. However, when we got to willow logs, I finally got my first introduction to forestry, which is kind of like a social skilling buff to woodcutting. If you're woodcutting the same tree as other people, you'll get an invisible boost, and there's also a bunch of random events that go on and make it much more interesting, as well as giving a bunch of woodcutting XP. This got to the point where woodcutting was actually leveling up faster than firemaking, even though firemaking gets way more XP per log. As much as I was enjoying forestry, I did want to focus more on getting my firemaking up, so I ended up swapping over to just looting the logs off the floor that people were just dropping everywhere, and burning those in a line fire instead. This was significantly faster for firemaking XP, I just stopped getting woodcutting XP. So I did this for a while at Willows, and then went over to Sears and continued doing it with Maples until we hit 50 firemaking. Because there's 50 firemaking, so we can now enter Wintertodt. Wintertodt needs warm clothing, specifically 4 pieces of it. The Clue Hunter outfit is the go-to for Iron Men, so we grabbed the gloves and the boots when we were down at Yunil, but stuff like the Rainbow Scarf and the Fire Tiara are much quicker for us to grab, so we grabbed those from Diango and the GE respectively. As for the general gameplay loop, you just chop logs and throw them in a fire. That's Wintertodt. You can fletch the logs if you want more points or you want fletching XP, which I kind of go back and forth on doing whether or not I feel like it. It's kind of annoying because when you take damage it interrupts the fletching, but chopping doesn't get interrupted, so lazy mode, chop logs, throw in fire. If you want more points for more rewards, fletch. For each game of Wintertodt that you finish with more than 500 points, you'll get a reward crate with 2 or more items in it. You get the third item guaranteed at 1,000 points, and it's kind of a scaling system between 500 and 1,000. And I ended up doing Wintertodt for the rest of the night that night, and getting up to quite a few reward crates. So let's jump to opening them all. See how rich we get. Wow, that was quick. We already got a Pyromancer Gub. Oh, there's another piece of Pyromancer. 7 crates and already 2 pieces of Pyromancer. Oh, third piece of Pyromancer. And a teak seed. Well, there we go. First day on the job. And we have 3 pieces of Pyromancer. Oh my god, what the heck is that luck? Well, at least now I fit in at Wintertodt, I guess. And we got 20k. That is... I think I'm more excited about the 20k than the other stuff. But yeah, we've started making a pretty sizable cash stack. Well, that's a good start to the account. Turns out Wintertodt is pretty fun. And since yesterday, I've been doing a bit more of it. And we're up to 70 fire making now, which, to be honest, will do us for most of what we need it for. We do eventually need 85 for all the elite achievements. But for now, 70 will do just fine. And that also means we have a few supply crates. Just a few. 23, I think we got. And let's see if our luck from yesterday continues. A lot of gold already. I don't know if any of these logs are actually worth anything, but okay, we got the warm gloves. So that means we now have All four pieces of the... Is this all four pieces of the Pyromancer outfit, or are these different? We have another pair of warm gloves, back-to-back warm gloves. I don't know if that's useful in any way. They don't look like they're tradable. Irrits, I'm assuming, are pretty healthy money. They are. Coal, maples, rubies, and dynamite. I have no idea what dynamite's used for. Okay. Now for the last 10 crates. We have got a lot out of Wintertodt these past couple days. Oh, there we go. Some burnt pages. Don't know if these are tradable or not. They are, and that is a healthy bit of profit. More teak logs, saltpeter, silver ore, more irrits, and finally, just more guams, emeralds. So overall, pretty useful loot, it seems. I think a lot of that was worth a fair chunk of money, to be honest. Before I got back on the questing grind, I thought it would be a good idea to unlock a bunch of teleports so that I wasn't running around everywhere. And ironically, the way I chose involved a lot of running around a library fetching books for people in exchange for XP. At least I'm burning off the calories now that I'm saving later by teleporting everywhere. However, this is a free method that only took us about an hour and a half to get up to 45 magic, so cannot complain about that in the slightest. And with our new collection of teleports, we jumped into doing a bunch of quests that give prayer XP since we need to get up to 43 prayer. So we started off with Merlin's Crystal, which allows us to go into Holy Grail, which gives an absolute dump truck of both defense and prayer XP. And then we hopped over to Canaphis to do Priest in Peril, as well as Ghosts Ahoy. Again, for the prayer XP. They don't give us much prayer XP, but Ghosts Ahoy specifically gives us another really good teleport, as well as quick access to a herb patch that we're going to need when we start herb runs later on. As for the rest of prayer training, we're going to have to fork out some cash for it, so I'm trading in my warm gloves to get some more burnt pages. The reason I'm trading in the warm gloves is because they're not actually part of the Pyromancer outfit, so while they're nice fashionscape for doing Wintertodt, they don't actually give me any boosts there. However, right now, the gold from the burnt pages would do me a world of good. And that world of good looks like 152 dragon bones, which cost us just a bit over 300k, but taking these to someone else's player-owned house, because we don't really have one set up yet, gets us enough XP to get us up to 43 prayer. Would the Wildy Altar have been better if we didn't get PK'd? Yes. But regardless, there is 43 prayer done, so let's put it to use with some quests. And the first obvious choice for that is Dragon Slayer, the pinnacle of free-to-play quests, and to be honest, with a rune weapon, not going to be the trickiest thing in the world, but the protection prayers are going to help a bunch too. Apparently the melee attack is like wildly inaccurate, so this should be alright. Okay, wildly inaccurate but hits hard. 1 Elvarg down. Didn't even need the prayer pots. Boom. Dragon Slayer 2 done. 18.5k strength and defense XP. And apparently this was a requirement to wield dragon plate bodies. I had no idea. Yeah, I'm not buying that off. I'm not buying that off you. You want double the price of the G. With the trial run done, it's time to take on Monkey Madness. So we're going to start things off by sneaking into the monkey encampment and making a masterful escape from their oh. Ow, what? Huh? What? What the heck? Okay, that's, 1 Chev, I guess? Don't pull a Chev. What's a Chev in this scenario?